Everybody, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Hopefully, you're enjoying your Saturday. It's a quick week. And we all know that the international break, which to a degree sometimes feels like, this particular one seemed like, oh, great, the boys needed a break. But then again, our best players are all one way or another involved with their respective international teams. And we know that brings issues, and seemingly always with Liverpool. Um, Somehow, Man City, I don't know about this time, but they've been able to keep their players away from duty, more or less. I think Ederson went. They probably had most of their players go this time. I don't know. Either way, with that comes with issues. And once again, first of all, I just want to say it's amazing that Salah can hit such a strike from a corner, yet more difficult or more easier situations he can't. Not a knock on him, but I just find that kind of ironic. But with that, apparently he had some kind of muscle strain. So rightfully so, it's a good thing that Liverpool pay his wages, and they were able to say, look, he can't play the next game. He's too valuable. We cannot afford to miss him in the game. So hopefully that goal he scored, I think it was just one goal. Whoever they play, I think they smashed him. But what up, Jason? Hopefully that one goal he scored has given him a bit of spark, and maybe he can, get back to scoring ways when the season picks back up against Huddersfield. Also, Naby is training. Last I saw, Red was training alone with Guinea. There's I don't know if there's much to read into that. Listen, I think this injury he had in Napoli, which seems like it seemed at the moment. I mean, getting stretched off to be a really serious injury. Obviously, he was fit enough to play in the game against City. Did he re-aggravate things? Maybe. Is that possible? Definitely. So I'm hoping his training alone is more of just like a way um, to keep him from maybe furthering that injury. That's what I'm hoping. I hope it's nothing major. At this point, with Milner being out for probably a significant amount of time, we cannot afford to be losing anybody. Even Hendo. I know some people probably wouldn't care if he was hurt, but as far as squad depth and just Hendo, his personality in the dressing room, say what you want about him, not a fan, are a fan, whatever. We need Hendo in this team for more reasons than one, in my opinion. And so having him and or having Naby fit would really be good. I said well done Hendo because he obviously is going to miss the next game. I think against Spain, and then I think the next international. I don't know if Spain is this international break or the next one. Somebody from England may know that. Someone who knows a bit more, did more research, might know that. But it's good to know that Hendo won't be stressed anymore. We know that he's got the tendency to pick up a foot injury as well. So um, gonna need all we can get at this point in the season, especially the crazy run that we had and coming through it pretty good. Obviously, I think some of us would have preferred more, would have preferred better. In the grand scheme of things, it's probably a good situation where we are. Jason, thoughts on Shakiri requesting the number 10? Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Me and Jan spoke about that. He brought it up the last time we were on here live, and I hope Klopp is listening. That's my thought on it. That's my answer to it. I think we saw him in that role more or less in the Southampton game in that kind of 4-2-3-1. And honestly, I like to see that formation again. Now, I would have hoped and thought that I know Klopp made the sub at halftime. A lot of people thinking, what's that about? He was our best player in the game, whatever, whatever. There was an obvious reason why he did it, and it was the defensive structure that was falling apart. Or I guess he saw that there could be some holes in that game. I don't remember that being the case, but obviously he's got a different view than I do. He knows his team more than I do, so surely that was a change that was necessary. And so I'm hoping that they've done more training with that because I think that's the formation that could really work and really benefit some of the players on our team. And also just help the team moving forward as far as giving teams different looks. I think while I feel like I don't believe in this whole thing of being found out and teams kind of understand how to stop you because at the end of the day, it's not really about what you do. It's about if the other person can stop it. And I think knowing what we're going to do is one thing, but they have to stop it. And a lot of times it's been Liverpool stopping ourselves as opposed to a team figuring us out, in my opinion. I think a lot of times we've gotten in our own way. So I think Mane would be better than a 10. You think Mourinho could move further up on the right, filling for Mane when he's central? I get to that in a second. Good question. Rex, what's up? Welcome. Against lesser teams, I think Shakiri will play for number 10. Yeah, I hope that's the case. But But honestly, I think if you're going to be doing it against lesser teams, at some point you got to try that against the better teams. Why not? If it doesn't work, you can easily make a tech. I don't know if it's easy, but you can make a tactical change. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. As far as Alberto Moreno moving up, I think a lot of us have been saying that for a long time now. It hasn't happened. Can he play more of an attacking midfield role? Can we play him more as a winger, where he's not doing so much defensive work in the final third? I don't know. I mean, Klopp's kept him around for one reason or another. I don't know. He worries me defensively. And can he do a better job defensively playing higher up? I don't know. His positional awareness seems to be really, really lacking. And it's interesting to me that there's rumors of Barcelona wanting him. Now, again, Barcelona probably see him as maybe they can mold him into a Danny Alves. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, those are two different worlds to me. Danny Alves is in a different planet, which Mourinho could never visit. But yeah, who knows? I mean, that could work. I just don't see it happening. Of all this time, if Klopp doesn't see it, I don't know. But that Mane spot really worries me more than any spot in the team. To be honest, I think if you look at the striker position, Sturridge is obviously the guy. God forbid Firmino get hurt, or just a good guy. I think to rotate from game to game, and I hope to see that a lot during these next couple of fixtures. The right side, Shaqiri can always come in for Salah. And the midfield's a little tricky too. We can't afford too many injuries there, but I still feel like we've got enough bodies there, more or less. I know Alex is out, I know Milner's out, but I think Lalana is almost a guy who you don't really feel like you can really put a lot of trust in at this point. That's just how I feel. I'm sorry. I don't think he will ever really get back to that kind of way that he was in that one season he had for us. We remember the game winner against Norwich, that crazy game, the glasses broke and all that, the hug with Klopp. I just don't see. I don't think we'll see that. I mean, I hate to be kind of negative about it or harsh, but I just don't see that from Lana. Look, I hope we can get something though, because that is another body, and maybe he can produce something. Clearly, I could be wrong. We'll see. And then of course Keita, Genie, Hendo. Hopefully he can stay fit, and Fabinho. And I think again, Fabinho and Naby Keita, we must see this must be the time where we're rotating. I really, really hope Klopp doesn't try to persist with these same guys over and over and over again. We have to find ways to rotate, and so that comes with guys being fit and ready as well. So looking forward to seeing some better performances in the midfield, and then all the way around. Like, well, the defense has been the class of the season so far. I mean, that's been the best kind of section of the pitch of our team this whole season. Goalkeeper, fullbacks, center backs. Yes, of course, the fullbacks have had a game or two where they were kind of off, but still. And the more I watch that City game, which I'm still watching back, fullbacks were amazing. Robertson was really good. I thought Gomez was really good, and not even necessarily good as far as like creating chances, but just being like the work rate, some of the things they did. City made it tough, and so we all know about that. But yeah, I think defensively we've been the best maybe I have ever seen in this period of a season. So that's obviously one thing that we can kind of take with us, and you don't really see too many. If you had to grade each part of the pitch, each part of the squad so far, you'd have to give the defense obviously the highest marks. I think they've been just amazing. So, but yeah, that's the bit on Hendo with his suspension internationally. Salah picking up this muscle strain, which I hope is just that, and he'll be fine to come back into the season. Naby and his issue, and then this match fixing thing in our group with this spanking of Red Star Belgrade by PSG. Allegedly, someone bet 5 million or something crazy like that on them losing by about that amount. I think it was, and so somebody's going to suffer from that. It won't be Liverpool, so I'm happy with that. Um, but yeah, so that's good. I think we got some real fortune coming up in December with rest in between matches. I think the Wolves game is December 21st, but either before or after that we have a bit. I think it's before that we have a bit of a break. So that should be good. That's something that Klopp is complained about. I think a lot of managers in their own way, but it seems like Klopp has kind of been the carrier of that torch, if you will, of the bunching of the fixtures in and around that festive period. Which, as a fan, I mean, I get it as a manager, I get it as players. I know that it's wear and tear, and it's to have to come up with a game plan that much. But these guys are getting paid a lot of money, including Klopp. I think should be excited about that, honestly. And as a supporter, I'm excited to see Liverpool as much as I can. They played 3 4 times a week all year round. I'd love it, based on the idea of a selfish one maybe, but I get to see more of Liverpool. So I don't know who wouldn't want that. So yeah, I think we're in a good place. I think we're in a good place. We definitely have some improvements to make, and some better performances that we can have. The thing about the Napoli game, real quick, before I get off, is that as disappointing as that was, the performance, the result, obviously, um, yet and still we were able to stay in that game, score wise, to the end, and would have been great to get a draw. But the one thing to remember is that, again, as good as our defense is, we obviously need that other part to click. And while it was nice to kind of ride that luck and ride the luck, we had some luck ride the kind of defense leading us, which is just amazing. Saying that, just thinking that is almost a foreign kind of idea, but yeah, that's been really good. That's been really good. But we definitely need to start clicking very, very soon. And I think, as I said in the live with Jams, is that I think Klopp was telling his kind of true and trusted guys to just kind of hang in there with him until this international break. And then on the other side, he can make some rotation. And I really feel like right away we need to, and I hope, and I think that we will see Fabinho quite early, Naby quite early. Hopefully, some Shakiri, if he's not starting in the games quick, soon, not the 80th minute, 78th minute, but maybe the 60th minute, maybe at halftime, maybe starting. Um, Sivian says Shakiri is more of a threat in the number 10 role. Yeah, we've been talking about that, and I think that's what we really need to see. I don't mind Mane there either, but I think we need to try Shakiri. He was really good there against Southampton. So maybe against Huddersfield we see that. We'll see. Mane plays a 10 role for Senegal, and he's very inconsistent. Yeah. Some games he does nothing at all. Um, I don't know if I can agree with that. If you're talking about for Liverpool, I don't think there's any game that he does nothing at all. I mean, I think like most of the players, the attacking players, that is, no one has been terribly consistent. Oh, for Senegal, okay, got you. Yeah, 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 that's really true. A lot of yeah, in a lot of those games, he doesn't seem to do much at all. That's very very true. Um, but luckily, his form for Senegal that we've seen, although he's had some good form as well for them here and there, but luckily it's two different Manes, more or less. But I guess that's because of the players around him, bro. Yeah, I think Senegal have a pretty decent team. I was honestly surprised they didn't go further in the World Cup. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, just excited, man. I as much as I felt like this is a good break for us, again, it feels like it's not really a break because a lot of our best players are going to these teams and risking injury and fatigue and all that. The flights back, the travel time. Like Klopp said, it's a senseless kind of pointless thing. I mean, these guys need actual breaks, not international breaks. Like just breaks, relax. I mean, it's especially. I mean, all teams could use it, but especially a team like Liverpool who exerts so much energy every game, every minute, every second they're playing, training, all of that. Although I know lately, Klopp, it seems like mostly the training consists of recuperation and guys trying to just get back to where they are. Sivian, though they have a very talented team, but youthfulness is their downfall. Yeah, at the moment, the Senegalese nation team definitely have a bright future though. In the coming, I think so, especially with that manager they have. A lot of good young talent, and I think it can only get better. So I think especially in the African, in African, the, the African Cup of Nations, I think they should consistently be one of the teams that are coming out of that. As far as on the world stage, they probably got a little bit ways to go, but that's fine, man. I knew what you meant. It's all good. So yeah, not a whole lot, man. Just coming on and talking about some things. Lastly, let me just say this too. I know I said lastly about something else, but this one will be the last thing. Aaron Ramsey. I know we've spoken about it here and there, but just throw some thoughts out to me. Would you take him on a free? Um, do you think we can find a place for him? Do you think he can add more goals? We know he's really really close with Ox. Can that mean something? Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a guy at this level and ability. I think you don't want him. Okay, fair enough. I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind him. And for free, I think you add some to the midfield. And who knows? All this is just rumor, hearsay. There's been a lot of talk about it. Wouldn't mind Ramsey. Jason says, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind him either. He's not a guy that. if I looked at midfielders to get even in the Premier League, I wouldn't really think of Ramsey. I think it's the free thing for me that I'm thinking. You know what? Okay, now he'd probably be on some pretty hefty wages. It is Aaron Ramsey. He'd probably demand that him and his agent. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind him, but only if it was on the free. Yeah, that's the kind of thing. I definitely wouldn't pay whatever it would be for him. There's also been some talk about Zelensky at Napoli, who came on late in that game against us. I didn't really get to see a lot of him. There's been a lot of hype about this guy that I really just don't see, and maybe I need to watch more of their games. The games I have seen, he's okay, but even in that game, he didn't even start. Now that could have been a tactical thing, but I've just never seen him as a guy. I always wondered what the hype was with the fans and these rumors. But again, I trust talent that Klopp and FSG, Michael Edwards, whatever they see fit. I trust it from now on. So that's another guy to kind of keep your eye out on. I know they're keeping tabs on him. Allegedly, Napoli's trying to put like a 114 million buyout thing from him, a clause, which is, I mean, get real. 114, stop it. Um, with Milner probably going, why not have him on a free? He's better than Lallana, Hendo, and Milner. Well, the thing is, we can't get him in January, right? I think that was what I was told or led to believe and understand that even if we got him, it would have to be in the summer. But maybe you guys know something better or more. Maybe I'm not right with that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind Ramsey, and I think he could add some goals and just a different option. A different option. Again, you want some guys that can throw something different at teams. Right now, with our best midfield, for thinking or the midfield that Klopp thinks is the best is Milner, Hendo, and Genie. You know what you're getting from them. Very workmanlike, very defensively, very solid, but not a lot of guile, not a lot of creativity, not a lot of forward movement on a regular basis. I mean, yeah, you can have the pluck here or there from midfield, from Milner, Hendo, or even Genie, but it's not something that you can really hang your hat on and say, okay, we got a midfielder in those three that can really, really change a game offensively. So I don't agree with him being better than Milner. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Milner offers some things that Ramsey doesn't. I'll leave it at that. I mean, and vice versa. I think Ramsey offers some things that Milner doesn't. They're just two different kind of players. To say he's better than Milner, I don't know if I go that far either. But fair enough. Milner's like a fine wine. Yeah, the man keeps getting better. Only thing he's missing is more goals from open play and not just from 12 yards out. Yeah, and we're not going to see that from Milner. I mean, you've seen the moments he's had shots on goals and he either passes them up or that he doesn't look like a confident goal scorer or to even take a chance for a shot at goal. Personally, that's how I see it. So, and again, with Shaqiri, I think besides what you can get from him playing a 10, besides what you can get from him having that element of surprise to kind of give teams a different look, you're getting a guy who can take set pieces, specifically corners. Now, he's human, so every corner he puts in is not going to be awful. But I think the percentage of good set piece, especially from corners, is higher than anybody else in the teams. Whether it be Salah, Milner, Hendo's taking some. I don't know if Trent's taking a corner kick, but yeah, we need a. I mean, because again, there are gonna be some tough games going on. It's not just about the top 5, 4, 5, 16. We're gonna have some teams that give us really tough games. I mean, we thought we'd smash Brighton. We didn't do it. I think Huddersfield are probably a bit less than Brighton on the scale of things, but they'll definitely be parking the bus and definitely be trying to figure out a way to frustrate us the best that they can and maybe catch us sleeping. Maybe they'll think, look, the defense has been really good this year, but let's see if we can get a set piece. And maybe they're still a little weak. They got a new keeper. They got some better defenders. They're at least they're playing better together. But they'll believe that they can get something from the game. And so, especially when they see our front three isn't really moving or scoring the goals like most people would have thought that we would have. So, we can't really look at this, in my opinion, as an easy stretch of games. I know it's easy to do that based on the names of the teams that we're playing, but there's no real such thing as an easy game, in my opinion. It's just not. I mean, there's games where you go into thinking we should beat this team, and that's just based on where your team is at the time, the players your teams have. But we've seen it. It's football. It's sports. Anything can happen. So I think it's a big mistake for people to go into these games and look at them as easy games. That's just not the case. Now, should we be getting points from these games? We sure should. But the ride is not going to be easy, in my opinion. So. Um, let's see. Remember how clinical he was for City as a super sub? Yeah, yeah. I'm going to look up his City goals right now. Actually, cool. Why don't we ever want to be the best team? We keep selling for players who just put in a shirt. That's not enough. I want to dominate like Madrid. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, and I would love that. The thing about that, and Klopp has brought it up about us improving and getting better, and every team around us is every team that's worth talking about. So everybody's improving one way or another. But yes, I mean obviously it would be great to be like Madrid. I think every fan of every club would say that and be wanting to dominate. That's almost a dream. Can we do it? Sure. Is that something we should be fighting for? Yeah, perhaps. Listen, I want to win titles and trophies. If that means that we have to dominate to do it, sure. If it means that we can do it and kind of just get by, I don't really care what style we do it in. I've said it before. If you go the rest of the season, let's say Salah only gets 15, which, you know, half Hope has said and other people have said, and there's all these YouTube videos now made about is he a one hit one? Listen, if he's a one season wonder and we win the league, do you think I would really care? But obviously, there'll be people who would care, and that's the funny thing about it. It's like Liverpool fans, you can't really win for losing with communicating with them, with what they expect from the team and all that. So, I mean, a lot of us are just happy with playing good football, and if we never win anything, the claim to fame will be, oh, Klopp came in, he played great football and gave us great memories. So, sometimes it's really difficult. And for me, we need to win at least a trophy. But I think the league is. I mean, come on, it's so overdue, well overdue. And so that to me, I think it comes to a point where you need to really prioritize. And I know that's not Klopp's thinking. I know he thinks everything needs to be prioritized, and fair enough. I mean, I would want my manager to do the same too, probably. As a supporter, thinking a different way, having a different view on it, in some aspects, I think that you got to prioritize one or the other at some point. So, we'll see how that goes. And I think you can tell how much, you know, playing in both competitions took a strain on us while we're kind of doing really well in Champions League, sometimes barely getting by or whatever. We did it and we got to the final and lost, but you can see how that kind of made our league form suffer a bit. So, it's really hard to see. Jason, I think this team with a few more additions can be a dynasty and win multiple leagues. We need to be ruthless, stop being soft on players because they work hard. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think it feels like an English thing. It's like, oh well, he works so hard and he's the best and he da 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 da. Listen, and that's great. You need those guys in your squad. But I read something about Klopp when he first came in and he put the word team up on the board. And I think the T was, terrible to play against. The E was enthusiasm. The A was added, and I think the M might have been like mental toughness or something like that. But I think we're slowly but surely getting there, and we just need to be a bit more patient. I know that's not easiest to take, and we've been patient for how many ever years it's been, but we finally have, I think, a team in place with again a few more. We need a few more additions. That's just true. We do. Call it what you want. To strengthen our squad a bit more, a bit more. It is nice to look on the bench and have what we have now as opposed to the first team he had when you saw guys like Ibe and Joe Allen and whoever else we had on our team. I can't even remember. I don't want to remember, but we need a few more pieces. And I think listen, if there's a chance to get Fakir in the window, I know once January gets closer, even before January, probably Christmas time or not, if not Thanksgiving time, people will be talking heavily about that'll just come back up. The Nabel Fakir things will surely come back up. I think I heard recently he got an injury with Lyon against PSG, and as soon as he went off, they kind of suffered. But Mitch, what's up? Without sounding like a defeatist, I honestly can't see after a season like last in the World Cup how our players are going to recover. They're all the time. They do, and that I think is again another reason why it's been so impressive to get where we are now. The World Cup is one thing, but I've never really gotten that because a lot of the teams, I mean, maybe Lovren and Hendo, but other than that, no one really progressed from their group. So I don't really. I mean, okay, Brazil did, but did Fabinho play? Did Firmino play that much? So is it the travel? Is it the conditions that? I mean, I don't get this World Cup thing. I mean, you would have thought that all of our players somehow played in the final. And maybe I'm just ignorant when it comes to that, but I don't really get that. But yes, I mean, footballers are the most worked athletes. I think. I mean, it's pretty much an all year round sport, minus a few months where you get off. But they're constantly playing football, and so yeah. But I think every team goes through that. Listen, I don't think you sound like a defeatist at all. I think that's just true what you said, majority of what you said. So listen, it's going to take an amazing, amazing, amazing output from Liverpool this whole season, and preferably we see that output heavily in the Premier League. I would love to win a Champions League trophy, but at some point again, you know, in my mind, you can't be risking a lot of other competitions or focusing on those to the up degree as opposed to the league. You just can't. You just can't. You're gonna risk injuries. Obviously, you're gonna risk tired legs. I mean, unless again, I think this January, unlike some of the other, I mean, yes, we got Van Dyke and we let go of Coutinho this the past January, but I think Klopp really, I don't think he will, but I think he really needs to consider, especially depending on how the team looks by January. I think he really needs to consider going in and getting a player. So we'll see. Jason says they look tired. This nonsense National League means first team players aren't getting the rest they used to get with. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, man. I don't, it's always some other way to keep players, expending, using more energy. Basically, it's always another football competition that they throw a name on and say, oh, this is how we can get fans excited about. No, there's nobody really. I mean, let's be honest. People, of course, the people at the games, who are really. There's some people who probably only are into international football, and that's fair enough. But nobody's really looking forward to this, especially if you're a Premier League supporter. Like you want to be watching your team on the weekends and not, this. Oh, I wish we were playing this weekend. So it's a drag, but it's what happens. It is what it is. So, but we've got to be ready. And so the big thing this season is really just seeing how we can keep guys fit, and how rotation works. And I just want to see more guys battling for roles. You know what I mean? Like if we're not seeing Fabinho and Naby as often as we want to, or Shaqiri or Sturridge, one thing is we can think is Klopp is losing his mind. Why isn't he doing it? But also it could be the work and training. I think Klopp is a firm believer in, you show me, let me see that you should be in the starting 11 every week, or at least give me something to think about. So it's up to the players, and I just think that as much as it's up to the manager as well, it's up to the players. They gotta continue this fight, this hunger, this dedication, this nastiness to pull Liverpool through this period and pull us to starting to get trophies. So I'm excited about it. I know you guys are. Can't wait to this Huddersfield match. Jesus, it's going to seem like forever now. But hopefully this week goes by fast as well, and we can get back to watching the Reds. So thank you all for stopping by. Let me just do a roll call. Let's see, Jason. Hey, Mercy, what's up, man? Mitchell, Sivian, good to see you again after a while out. Who else? I know I'm missing somebody else. Rex, good to see you back on. Yeah, so thank all you guys for stopping through. Um, and yeah, I'll be back for the Huddersfield game unless there's any other bits of information that surely you guys know. This is not a channel that's bringing forth breaking news. This is more of just me kind of trying to bring thoughts out, topics out, and get you guys' opinion. We can kind of dialogue on them accordingly. So if you did miss the live, definitely feel free to look at it or watch it back from the beginning. But again, just as an overview, just talking about Hendo, his suspension, and how that can help us in the league with trying to keep him fit because we know of his injury, his issues, and history. Salah with the free kick that was harder than any other attempt that he's made for Liverpool this season, that's for sure. And then Naby training alone, and then some of the match fixing in our group with Red Star Belgrade being under some kind of investigation from someone there who was betting money on a certain score or whatever. And then some other little side things that we spoke about. Aaron Ramsey. I brought up Zelensky from Napoli. I don't know what many people think about him. I don't think many people chimed in on that. Maybe people didn't catch that. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, and if anyone's really has anyone in their mind that they'd like to see in January, is there anyone who you think that we could use who would come, who could fit in our team? Obviously, it's by the day. It really, and I wasn't really thinking so much about it because of how we looked early on. But Ox, man, wow. I mean, him coming back into the team right away would just be even much more confident than I am now. The defense really is what keeping me confident. I'm gonna be honest. The goalkeeper, the defenders, that's what's keeping me. not as I think bothered and worried as maybe some of us are, and rightfully so, I guess. But for me, the defense gives me so they're that good that to me, they gave me that much confidence. And also there's a piece written in this is Anfield about Man City pretty much being a Man United light against us, kind of having their own kind of bus parking antics. So let me know what you think about that. I thought that was an interesting way to word it. I don't know if I can particularly say that they parked the bus, but they definitely played in a different style. But I'm done talking about City. We got to play them again in January, and I look forward to that. But yeah, Huddersfield's the next match. That's the one that I'm hoping it's a game that we can get the 3 points. And really just get back to being really confident up front. There's something that's lacking. I don't know what that is, but hopefully we can get back into to taking our chances and looking really good while we do it. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to me if we win 1-0 from a header from Van Dyke and our guys are still missing chances. It's slightly worrying, but it's really about winning, guys. I mean, for me, that's what it's always been about. How can you get a win? If it's by demolishing a team, great. But if it's these 1-0s, 2-1, 4-3, which I don't see many of those happening this season, honestly, with our defense, then so be it. But is Ox back for good? No, no, no. He's not back. He's not back. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it's a big miss, and I haven't really thought about how much we're missing him this season until the last few games, the Napoli game, the doubleheader Chelsea, the City game, mainly because you can tell some of those guys is really getting tired playing a lot of football. But obviously, in those games, you needed that personality, that other outlet, that person who can drive the rock through the pitch, through the defense, and make something happen. Whether it be take a shot or just give the defense a different thing about like, oh, do I step up because Ox is coming through? Do I lay off and let him pass it to someone else? But we didn't deep receive the ball, try to make a play. For the 4-3-3 to work, you need to have that guy in the midfield who can really break things up. And unless you have that, then it's a pretty standard it's a pretty standard midfield. It's not anything that's really going to give you much excitement. It's a very passenger like midfield, and so um, lately I've been feeling that. And so obviously we think Naby will be that kind of guy in a different way, but similar in qualities and what he brings, and hopefully that's something we can see sooner than later. So that's it for me, guys. Much love to you. See you soon.